Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we have a grand campaign for you. It is over. The season ended last week, so for the next 2 weeks I am told it's just going to be a fun, relaxing event. So for this week we have Eastwood Skirmish followed up by Pry House. Before we get into this, thank you to our YouTube members for the support. If you'd like to support, go beneath the video and hit the join button. By doing so, you can get a live stream of all the broadcasts we do. You can advertise your regiment in the bottom of our videos and get an additional broadcast per week. So our regiments for today, we finally have some new teams with a new season. They're probably trying to figuring out the balance. But CSA side, you got the 11th Mississippi, 42nd Pennsylvania, 30th Ohio, Hampton's Legion, Davis Brigade, 1st Kentucky, 1st Delaware, and the Irish Volunteer Brigade. Whereas on the Union side, you got the Iron Brigade, Colquitt's Brigade, 12th Virginia, 9th Corps, 17th Michigan, Pickett's Brigade, Alabama Volunteer Corps, and the 11th Pennsylvania. Server pop as of right now is currently 225 in balance, is 5 in favor of the CSA side, now 7. Artillery on this map, CSA doesn't have it, Union does, and they have 3 on it. So this in balance, it's fluctuating, but as of now, it is currently 8 in favor, or 9 rather, in favor of CSA infantry-wise. Frontline reporters today. On our Union side, you have Lucian from the Iron Brigade. Looks like he's over there by Artie. And then CSA side, you got Gene from Hampton's Legion. Appreciate these guys so we can see what's going on the ground while also seeing what is going on in the sky. So, Eastwood Skirmish, it is a 19% ticket advantage to the Union side. Weapons on this map, Union has the 32nd Pennsylvania with the Springfield 42, and they also have the 42nd Pennsylvania, a Sharps Rifle Company, smaller company than normal, and they are limited. They only have 1 flag since they're a special unit, so Union as a whole has 3 flags compared to 4 with what you normally see. CSA Defense, they have the 18th Georgia with the option of the Springfield 55 and the Enfield, and the 4th Texas with the option of the Springfield 42, the Enfield, and the Springfield 55. So, Union's hard pushing this CSA left side. This is one of the areas Union can go. Sometimes you'll see Union like to push down this side, and looks like you have maybe a little bit of an engagement over there, but most of the Union side seems to be collapsing on the CSA left.
Two steps off the fence.
I mean, Union is slowly moving down. They kind of formed up, hopped up over the fence, and now they're all starting to go in. Trying to make sure they are one blob. It's giving CSA a little more time, though.
No fence stance, just loading it.
He didn't have a shot. He didn't have a shot.
And for now, it looks like CSA are going to hold. Union did not bring their flags up. They don't want to lose those mobile respawn units. And actually, they might have lost one. Never mind, they did lose one. So, Union loses 1 flag for now. Keep the other 2 back. And CSA is going to strongly hold that. Union already down on tickets. This is kind of what you see. I will be intrigued to see how they play this. I remember Lucian, that's one of the Union guys, officer, he was saying that a strategy that he liked to do, especially with the recent update of the snake fence destruction, is he'll have this artillery just focus on this corner the whole game. Now, obviously, the CSA's here, and so it's like, oh yeah, they're going to shoot at the CSA infantry, but since you can now destroy the snake fences here, the artillery can blow this all away. It gets rid of that natural cover, or not natural cover, but just the cover that CSA has here. And it's a lot easier for Union to get into that line. So, 3 Union flags are down. They're all down right now. I'm surprised they kept those flags up there for as long as they did, because those flags are down for 5 minutes and then they'll despawn. I mean, Union can run over and pick it up if they want, but if Union wants to make any advancement on this map, or really any advancement as an attacker, you have to have your flags with you to gain ground. Otherwise, you can't. The enemy will outshoot you. They'll just shoot you down. They have their flags to respawn guys, and you don't. So, looks like Union, though, is not really worried about that at all, and they're going to gun it to the other side of the map, maybe trying to catch CSA off guard, put up a good fight in the corner. This is the other side, as mentioned earlier. Union, if they can take the top of this hill, it doesn't look like much of a hill, but it's a nice hill. They obviously have the good snake defenses here with the snake fences. And then also they can kind of overlook a decent portion of the map and the point, which is there. CSA, seeing them though, are moving quickly. And officers do have a steam chat so they can communicate over a call. So they should be able to quickly respond to any movements from an attacker. And that's really how you win this as CSA. You have your initial defensive line. and you just got to respond quickly to what Union does. And if you do that, you have a good shot at winning this game. Because it's not the easiest thing for Union to do. So here comes Union, CSA responding. You can see flags and guys moving slightly over the crest of this hill.
Oh shit,
So here we go. See, Union's trying to hit the far, CSA right. They're trying to tank the flank and then collapse towards the center. That's generally how you want to charge. In most cases, hit the flank, collapse in the center, not go straight to center. But you have a lot going to center. Nice arty shot from Union there. You can see, based on me being out of bounds, Union is fighting on the edge of out of bounds as well. I mean, they are really hitting the flanks. You never really see charges down the center in this game anymore. You usually just see hitting in the flanks. And again, it looks like CSA is going to be able to hold this. You got some HL guys moving across for a little flank here.
Pace your shots, pace your shots.
They're going to get some nice shots in the side of the Union, who are holding a little bit here. They won't be able to last long, though. You got FSB here, which I did not see them on the chord sheet, so apologies for missing them, but they are here. It's nice to see them here, but CSA is going to sweep through and they're going to wipe them out. However, I won't be surprised if Union spawns in and guns right back to the other side. It looks like they got 2 of those flags potentially as well. Because a game Union could try to play is really test to see if the CSA can move back and forth quickly enough and respond. Union might hit that far CSA left side where they first hit again. Would not surprise me. Because, I mean, if CSA makes a mistake and Union's able to get into the side of the CSA, the flank, or get into this woods in the back here as a flank, this map can turn 180 in Union's favor in an instant. So, regardless, though, so far CSA has had a phenomenal round. They've responded
Into the cold.
perfect to everything that the Union's done. And, I mean, anywhere that the Union kind of charges, it's kind of in the open. Sure, you have fences, but it's not great, because Union, if they try to go down the fence like we've seen a couple times, they go up against this fence, CSA spreads out, and it looks like kind of like a T. Union's pushing down, they're the long part of the bottom, and then CSA is that horizontal line on the top. And when they're shooting in at all directions of the one area, that's just not a good equation. So, with this all being said, Union's getting formed up. Some are sitting back and shooting. Haven't seen too... I don't know where the sharps are. Actually, who's taking the sharps? Looks like the 12th Virginia is. And, I mean, you can just notice here, right? So, CSA, remember, right? Union has 3 flags because they have this special unit here. But look at CSA, they got 30 guys here, 32, 28, and 28. So they can respawn these guys, you know, at a good pace. Compared to Union, though, 47, 46. It's like a Union guy is probably going to almost wait double the amount of time to get a respawn in compared to a CSA guy, and it's a rough equation for the Union. And you see maps like Hooker's Push as well, where things start to become extremely difficult for Union. Hooker's Push is a much worse version of this map for the Union. It's a similar concept, but Union main spawn is like 2 more minutes away from where they can fight. And it is, I mean, you can... Let me make sure I get my bearings right. Oh my goodness. I haven't really looked up over the battlefield, at least from this angle. But, it's always weird when you look at something from a new angle. It catches you off guard. Yeah. I know that, I mean, that's the Mama's farmhouse there. Ah, there it is. Hello. Alright, so while Union gets prepped up, for now they're just sitting and shooting. I mean, they have all their flags back. Either be they despawned or a Union guy ran and picked it up. But anyways, for those of you who are watching who do not know what Hooker's Push is, this is Hooker's Push. So that open field, kind of to the left side of this cornfield here, that is the general fighting area with point being in the center of it. Now, this is the Miller's cornfield. Union does not spawn here. Union does not spawn here. They spawn all the way back here by the, you can barely see the artillery caissons there. Union spawns back there, and they have to trek across all the way to that just to get to the fighting in this field. it's a mess. Union can't lose their flags, right? Because if they lose the flags on the fighting field, they just can't get those respawns. They have to spawn at main, go for like 3-4 minutes. It's just a complete mess. So, but for now, Union seems to want to get in the shootout. I mean, they charged twice. It did not work. Union spreading out a lot too, with a majority of the forces hung up on this Union right. I would assume that the Sharps are over here, and they are. Sharps, I mean, they're good shooting weapons. You can kind of tell they're a little short. And for that reason, they stuck at melee. But great at shooting, right? They reload at double the speed. But in the long run, you would expect an attacker to win on a shootout. They have a larger pool of tickets, so many variables going to a shot. If a shot actually hits, that there's so much randomness involved that generally I say it's a 1-to-1 trade in terms of kills from just a shootout over a long period of time. Nice already shots. And because the attackers have a larger pool of tickets, and it's a 1-to-1 trade in kills, which means it's a 1-to-1 trade in tickets. Nice volley there. It is generally good for the attackers to do a shootout over the long run, but they don't have a lot of time. Anyways, Union's charging in, as you can clearly see. This is why you don't charge the center across an open field. CSA getting absolutely beautiful volleys on the Union line here. You got some Union going center for a flank, but unfortunately it's not going to be able to do a whole lot. What this does do is get Union down to engage. That was going to happen regardless. Union flag is like the last one left, and he goes down. Meanwhile, you got this flank, which is holding for the moment. CSA reacting correctly and amazingly. They are just immediately throwing the Union off. They're like, we're not going to let you sit here and reform on our flank. We are going to wipe you right away. And CSA collapsing in, getting an absolutely beautiful charge through, getting those flags again. Union flag discipline has not been all it today. And they actually, oh no. So, really good response from the CSA side. For now, they have 2 Union flags down, which flags aren't the worst thing down for the Union on this map. They hurt. Nice arty shot. But yeah, I almost wonder. You saw those 2 arty shots before the Union line got close to the CSA defensive line. Like when Union was here, Union arty shot. Union arty needs to hold that a little longer, because even if Union arty doesn't get a hit, they can knock down a lot of people and suppress a lot of people, which maybe they were looking to suppress them as Union was charging across the open field, so they couldn't get that good of shots. But we saw the result of that. So Union will probably get that flag back. My War of Rights just crashed. Wow. I've never had that happen before. I didn't hit anything. Well, I guess for the moment we can watch the frontline reporter views here. Don't mind the, don't mind that black little square thing on the top left.
My range kind of empty.
But you got Lucian's view here.
I trust you. You can do it.
Just scoping it out, and then you got Gene on the other side here, looking at the beautiful corn, the most beautiful of them all. So at the end of the round, the after action report will be a little screwed up on my view, just because I joined in the middle of the round and they don't track through the whole thing. So we'll probably cut to one of these views so you can see that. But almost back in a second. And here we go. So we haven't obviously missed a whole lot. You do have Union. Looks like they're putting a little more pressure on this side. 9th Corps and FSB are pushing up, kind of engaging with some shots on the CSA side.
You just took a round in the leg.
I did. It hurt like shit. Motherfuckers.
But I mean, Union right now is, I mean, they're down like a half morale stage right now. And that is something that it's not good. Now, oh, you got some Union charging center here. Union's just going balls to the wall now. IB gonna take a lot of shots, but CSA ain't hitting. And so they're going to get right into the melee there. Meanwhile, you got more Union. It's kind of a spread out charge, which is not favorable to the Union CSA, although they were probably going to hold this regardless. I mean, CSA is picking apart the Union in detail. And then briefly in the center here, you got Midwest Brigade. They're pushing into HL, who are going to get nice shots in them. That was a ragdoll.
No, you ain't gonna. Hey,
look,
get
get
him. Get that one.
Hold the road.
Nice.
Get your loads.
There's someone else, someone up.
Shoot that guy, runner.
So, looks like some Union charged forward on this Union left, but it's just not working. I mean, I'm glad that the Union is at least trying different things, because, you know, if Union charges with their whole team down the CSA left, charges down this side, right? If it doesn't work, might as well try something else. It makes sense. However, if you're going to do a big prong, multiple charges like that, they all got to hit at the same time. You can't have a group hit once and then another group hit and then another group hit like 5 seconds later. You just can't separate that. Because if you're not together, which is a hard thing to do, if you're not together, though, you're just going to be picked apart and defeated in detail, and that's something that you don't want. So, CSA holds and reforms, spreading back out. No more flagpoles, only sticks here. I should have mentioned that when I crashed, but you know, perfect game, no bugs at all with this. And it looks like there is a server announcement for IVB to switch sides. Well, this might also explain why CSA is doing so well right now. It's a 14-man imbalance in favor of CSA, 19 when you consider the artillery. I mean, there's only 2 IVB. Really gonna change the imbalance here. But, yeah. So they're trying to fix that at least in the middle of the round, which is good to see. At least this is not like a grand campaign battle. So it doesn't affect a board per se. But that being said, Union's just backing up and kind of getting the shootout. I mean, the nice part about them being aggressive is that they have afforded themselves to knock CSA down a lot, and they still have a lot of time to do what they want. So they can kind of afford to do whatever they want, really. Because sometimes you'll see where a team at the beginning of the match just sits and shoots for like 20 minutes. You'll see this a lot on Pry House, which is our next map. In this event, we don't usually see teams just sitting and shooting on Pry House, but as an example, Pry House, CSA will just sit and shoot for like 20 minutes, and then they won't get the Union down any amount of tickets within those first 20 minutes, and then they got to go into some desperation charging. It causes people to panic, stress out, and make wrong decisions, right? It's like, I mean, it's like anything, right? If you're working on a school project or you have a work assignment, you have a deadline, if you wait longer to get it done or do the most important part, and you just wait until the end, you're going to be stressed and might not always make the best decisions. So that's why I like being aggressive at the beginning, regardless of if it works or not, because even if it doesn't work, it gives you enough time to adjust your plan and change everything's there. So those arty shots are way over. For regimental events, I don't think shots at this point should be that far off. That's just my opinion. I know arty ain't the easiest thing in the world, but like, that shot is almost as bad. I don't know if artillery... I know some groups do it where they'll have, like, a little spreadsheet where, like, okay, my arty is here. If I want to hit at the corn, I, you know, set my gun, this fuse length, this distance, have it at this angle, right? I don't know if everyone does that, but I mean, after a certain amount of time, you kind of, at least as an attacker, you should know where the defenders are going to be. It's not that hard on this map. But Union's pushing up again. They have all their flags. IB is going in front. I know there's not a whole lot of 12th VA guys on those Sharps rifles, but if Union ever charges, you have to put the Sharps in front because they suck at melee. They need to be fodder for the rest of the team who has buck and ball. That's another thing for Union is they got buck and ball. So here they go. Hey, Artie. But look at that. You got a lot of Union now pouring forward. There's a, I don't know if there's a disconnect or a miscommunication or just people are not going at the right time. Regardless, Union spread out and it's giving CSA a little moment to, you know, get a little bit more of a reload or something like that. Or just brace more or allow for CSA to move guys over like they have a lot more guys pouring in now. Now is the rest of the Union team hits. I mean, on a map like this where CSA is responding very well and they don't have that much time, or sorry, the amount of time it takes for CSA to hop back and forth between the side of the map is not that long. Union cannot afford to be spread out like they just were in a charge. I mean, it gave CSA a lot of time to respond. So, with that all being said, Union, another charge failed. Almost, they're about a fourth of the way through taking losses, maybe a little more. Flores wants a little more than what he got, and backs off. So, man. The devs in the next update said they would do a ticket balance to a lot of the maps, which I assume means they're going to release the company tool as well, which is supposed to track every War of Rights match ever played. But these ticket balances, man, they need to be fixed a long time ago. There's a good amount of maps where there's general consensus on who can win. And I mean, if you watch enough of this game, or even just play enough of this game, you can start to realize what maps are favored towards one side. Like, I could see a perfectly fine argument for giving Union more tickets on this map. Hooker's push, Union should get more tickets, or give CSA less tickets. You got some maps that the community doesn't even play anymore. For example, like High Street. We don't see High Street anymore in events because CSA just destroys on that. But really, that's a lot of the Harper's Ferry maps. I haven't seen Maryland Heights in months, which is unfortunate. That map might actually be, if they do ticket balance it, that might be the first map where the defenders might have a ticket advantage on the attackers. Which, that map right now, the tickets are even, and it's heavily CSA biased. I don't know what that NCO is, don't know what he's saying, but sounds awesome. So, yeah, Maryland Heights, it's a huge hilly map. If you know Harper's Ferry, West Virginia, the hiking grounds around there, very beautiful, I'd recommend. However, it's a big hill. Everyone fights over the top of it, essentially, and if CSA win that once, they just push Union off the hill entirely, and Union can't even get up. Anyways, IB went to this corner here. 11 Mississippi is responding. You got the rest of the Union team gunning it over here right away with a lot of guys spread out over here. CSA is starting to respond, though. You got a good amount of groups shifting this way. You got 42nd PA coming out of the wood line, but here comes another charge.
CQB. Hold it up, Mississippi, hold it.
Go, go, go.
Kill the rebels. Coming through.
And I mean, Union is starting to get this corner a little bit, which can be a good start. CSA has to realize that and collapse in, because you don't want Union just holding on your flank, and they're starting to do that. 42nd PA going up and over and in already.
Into the corn, 42nd, charge the corn, sweep it out.
So you got a couple Union guys left with the flag. Poor Zach's trying to run it off into the woods, which he needs to get out of bounds so that it despawns right away. He's right next to it. And
just move it through. 42nd was sweeping the corn.
And that's unfortunate. I get what he's trying to do, try to get a guy or two into the woods with the flag so they can respawn a lot of their guys back in the woods. But, yeah. Union will lose that flag. If it is out of bounds, it's a 15-20 second despawn timer instead of the 5 minutes, which Union would probably appreciate. But regardless, Union goes down to breaking. CSA up almost a morale stage and a half at this point. This is unbelievable destruction. And to think this map was Union bias years ago. I mean, with the increased server pop, I mean, what are we at this moment? I mean, CSA's still up by 7 right now. I mean, 12 if you consider artillery in terms of an infantry imbalance, but I mean, 230. It's wild to think about. So Union gathering up, pushing up towards this right side again. Union, to their credit, they do have a slight defilade here that they can kind of hide behind with their artillery.
Yep, it's not that difficult.
Yes, when you are done with your reload, dress the line. Dress. Look pretty. We are being recorded, gentlemen and ladies.
Doug is watching somewhere in the sky, boys.
Yes, yes.
I want to Harley, gentlemen.
Up the Harley!
I appreciate that. So it's I mean it's just, I don't know, it's a rough map for Union. Literally, CSA is playing this about as good as you can play it, and a Union can't do anything about that. And it's a little unfortunate per se, but you know, it is what it is in the end. Hopefully this ticket balance update happens soon, and by soon, in War of Rights context, is probably a couple months. I mean, when does it seem summer sale? June 26th. I would not be surprised if the next update happened at the end of next month, because this game normally doesn't update outside of sale time, which I doubt War of Rights, because War of Rights I'm pretty sure is on sale right now. I don't want to quote that incorrectly. I was a little surprised it wasn't. Yeah, it's on sale. It's on sale for 2 more days, it looks like. But yeah, no, I doubt War of Rights would have a sale right now, because normally when War of Rights has an update, at least within the past like year or two, War of Rights has done updates alongside of sales, and I highly doubt War of Rights would be on sale right now and then post this update in the next month and then do another sale with it. I don't know. I just think they would wait until the Steam Summer Sale at this point, because it's the best chance to get the most amount of viewage. So Union sitting back, kind of getting in a shootout right now. Artillery's going off like crazy. I'm surprised they have already shooting up top of the hill when most of their efforts have... it's been kind of split, but if I were the RD for Union, I would be shooting at one of these flanks and trying to completely destroy the defenses that CSA has, so Union can just get right into the melee right away. Because these fences can provide a big barrier, and I mean, now that it takes you, you know, a couple seconds to actually hop up and over the fence, compared to what it was a few years ago when you just up the fence and you were across it within a second. It's a lot harder to charge with that. So if you could destroy all those snake fences and straight fences, it'd make it a lot easier for everyone to just charge in and get into melee right away, which Union needs to do. Because the problem is that when Union pushes up and they try to charge the CSA, they'll just kind of sit on their side of the fence and maybe stab each other. And that takes a good amount of time. And CSA, that at least gives CSA enough of time to respond and fully show up and hold the corner or whatever Union charges. So So, based on that comment, take bayonets off. Looks like Union is here for the long haul. I mean, generally you want to hit the defender down to taking losses, which Union's about to do at about the 20-minute mark. Or a little past that. So, and then, furthermore, you want to hit a defender into breaking by around the 10-minute mark. So, the pace for Union is very slow, but, I mean, that's just evident with what's going on. I mean, the only shot I see Union winning this at this point is by capping the point when CSA is in breaking, which point is behind the CSA line, which makes sense. And I don't think we're going to see Union pull this off, just on that fact alone. Because Union, to try to win the point, they have to win 2 charges in a row, and they haven't won a single one yet. It's not necessarily their fault either. So, you'll note some CSA are kind of hiding off back here. 42nd PA and 30th Ohio. Looks like first Kentucky guys are in front of them taking shots. But, I mean, CSA at this point, they've got a lot of tickets. They don't want to lose tickets. I mean, you can see they're hiding down over here as well. DB, just with the Union artillery. But, you know, CSA is like, at least some of the CSA is like, we're not going to engage in a shootout. We know that could potentially have the attackers gain some tickets, so we don't want to have a shootout with them. We want to hold back, force them to charge us, which has been working really well for us today. Now, at this point, I don't think a lot of those minor details really matter a whole lot. Union's not going to be able to equal the ticket disparity out. They're not going to be able to catch back up through a shootout alone at this point. They would need longer than 12.5 minutes to do that. So, we'll see, though.
They're charging.
And here they go again. I mean, here's the thing. Look at that. Union went, and CSA instantly saw it. They can talk in their Steam chat, and now, boom, the whole CSA team knows. And they're starting to respond. They're sending guys down center. You can see CSA. They're not really moving on that side, which means they're a little confident here, which Union might have a window if CSA... Holy crap! Speaking of volleys, my goodness, you can see the snake fence is destroyed here. Not the one you would want if you're Union, but they're hitting this line strong. And CSA flag is down. 2 flags down. That's huge. Not all the CSA moved over. And, I mean, CSA's played really well up to this point. It would be a shame if they lost from a mistake like this. Union needs to win and get these flags down. Nice job on Soul Rain, and Magnus for getting those flags back up for CSA. Because if Union gets flags down, that can be huge. Because if a defender can't spawn guys in the action, the attackers can just push their way through. But the attackers have a foothold for the moment. You do have CSA starting to move over here. HL trying to get a little flank and wipe the Union out. Union's got to hold this.
Keep the flag in the rear.
Flag go to the back.
It's already here.
Fucking I'm chill.
Hey, sir, your flag's down. Hey, your flag's down.
Sergeant Major versus Sergeant Major.
Hey, you don't have a flag. Keep him off this flag. Keep him off this flag. Back into the cornfield.
And HL, among other reinforcements, is going to get... Man, there's canister going there. I got a couple too. But, yeah, no, that's a good hold there from CSA side again. A lot better for Union. They're about to hit final push, which will drop the black timer. They'll have infinite tickets and infinite spawns, but black timer will drop and they'll have limited time. So, I mean, that was the best charge by Union, and that was mostly because CSA wasn't all there on the corner relatively quickly. A good amount of CSA held over here for a while, which in the end worked for CSA. So, yeah, Ivy pushing up. This might, if they charge in, this might push them down. But, I mean, Union could cap point now, which is, they kind of have to. But, I mean, Union doesn't win if they cap on a CSA taking losses. They have to wait for breaking. If they cap, they have to hold it for, at least when CSA isn't taking losses, they have to hold it for 7 minutes.
Speedwell to the left.
IB's going to try. And they are going to die. That hits them the final push. So, rough map for Union here. Not much more to say than that. I mean, Union at this point, again, infinite tickets, limited time. Not really infinite tickets, but infinite spawns. But limited time, so they're just going to go, and they might get CSA down to breaking. So, Union trickling in. CSA even getting a nice little flanking shot there. As HL doing that.
Shoot these guys on the fence, they're really close to us. I got one of them. Thank you.
I mean, Union's slowly getting them down, but they're not going to be able to break through. I mean, again, you just can't break through. The only way you have a shot is by blobbing up and going in, but CSA will just respond like they've done the whole round and be able to hold pretty well, but you don't blame Union for doing what they're doing.
Let's go.
So, I'll be intrigued to see how the next map goes with Union defending. That map is a little more favorable to CSA, I would say, as an attacker, but we'll see what happens. So Union's starting to gather up on these little rocks here. And you can see some of the CSA buck and ball going over top. Just get it done. It's that easy, guys. Just push forward and charge in. You can individually take out the whole team if you go in, if you believe. You can do it, guys. Just go in. You can do it. All those guys who fell before you, they didn't believe enough. If you believe enough, you can win the game.
You don't need a fence stance with them.
Just let them go.
No odds are too great. No defense charging at you is too great.
Get away, Stankel.
These are Hinkle's rocks. Hinkle's rocks.
Get him, Hankel.
My rocks.
No! He got team killed. Justice for Hankel. Justice. Honestly, Hankel died on his rock, so maybe this was a Union victory after all. Gotta take the little wins, right? So, CSA sweeping through that. Are they gonna hit breaking? And they don't. I wonder if you can hit breaking after the timer hits 0. I wonder if that's possible. They did. They hit breaking. The bar was full. It normally doesn't go full there, but the text didn't move, which is interesting. So, anyways, I mean, there's not really too much. I mean, CSA played a perfect defense, and Union, you just can't do anything if CSA plays as they did here. If CSA can respond the way they did and hit the flanks perfectly timed, there's not much more you can do there. Let's go to one of the frontline views here, which it is a little laggy. Sometimes these Discord streams do that, but it is what it is. But at least you'll get the full match. So yeah, good first round, really well played from CSA. They played perfect. Union, they tried, and you can't really ask more from what Union did there. Maybe they were a little spread out going into charges, but outside of that, can't overcome a perfect defense. So with that being said, we will see you all shortly for round number 2. And here we are, second round, the Pry House. CSA has a 17% ticket advantage on this map and are inbounds for our round today. They did a brief remuster, and I don't know who is inbounds. I never saw an announcement, but granted, my text chat is muted. I'll look at that in a second. But anyways, our inbounds now, 7 in favor of the CSA side. Artillery-wise, both sides have it. CSA has 6, Union has 4. So our infantry balance rate now is 4 in favor of CSA side. Weapons today, the CSA attack. They have the 8th Alabama with the Springfield 55 in the Enfield. And then they also have the 8th Florida with the option of the Springfield 42. Springfield 55 in the Enfield. Union Defense has the 5th New York with the option of the Springfield 61. And then the NCOs, I'm pretty sure, have Sharps rifles. And then they have the 20th Maine with the Enfield. Let me see. Maybe they did a switch in the voice call. They didn't do a server announcement for it. But anyways, this map is relatively simple. Union has a defense line, which we can look at in a moment. You actually have some really aggressive movement by the Pickett's Brigade in 9th Corps, which 42nd PA and 30th is going to make them pay for it. Anyways, Union defensive line is about here. Doesn't look like much, but it does provide some defilade cover. This is very apparent on this side as well. Union kind of holds here and just kind of dukes it out with the CSA. This map is mostly dependent on the CSA attack. Now, CSA can hold back in the distance and have a shootout for a while, but personally, I don't like it. Generally, it doesn't work from what I've seen in the past. However, the other option is to charge and be aggressive. Now, the point is in the dead center of this map, and that really favors the attackers here because the defensive line for the Union is behind the point, meaning Union has to leave strong defensive positions to engage on the point. How do you force the Union to do that? If you're CSA, you capture the point. And if you do that, depending on the morale stage of the defender, you sometimes early cap it and have to hold it for some period of time. Defenders are at battle ready. It's 20 minutes, engage 12, taking losses 7, and if the defenders are at breaking your last stand, you cap, you win. So CSA, we've seen this a lot in this event, and I really like it. The CSA will play a very aggressive movement up onto the point. They will cap it, force Union to charge them, and that'll bring everybody's tickets down, and that's exactly what you want to see from CSA on this map. It's as simple as that. So, Union Defense, you got the IVB. They did bounce over last round. You got CQB with them as well. It looks like you got some maybe PB guys pushing up there, Pickett's Brigade. Meanwhile, in the center side of the map here, you got 11th Pennsylvania, Midwest Brigade, 9th Corps in the center. And then off on the left side, using these defilades, maybe popping up or just holding behind it a little bit. You got IB. Further left, you got 12th VA, and then FSB running up to get shots. Anyways, CSA attack, holding down the center row side. You got HL, 1st Delaware, 11th Mississippi shifting over, Davis Brigade. Last but not least, you got the 42nd PA and 30th Ohio on this side. So, both sides losing about a similar amount of tickets, but here's where the fun begins. CSA is going to cap point here. Union needs to retake. Obviously, if CSA holds it for 20 minutes, they'll outright win to match, but they need to retake it fast. A defender wants that clock to tick down to 0, and it's not ticking right now, but everyone's still losing tickets, and as a defender, you want to have as many tickets as possible as early on in the game, so they need to retake quickly. I like the aggressive movement. IB shifting up already. However, they're not immediately taking it. 12th VA now shifting forward as well. And you've got maybe a couple of Union guys shifting forward, but I'm surprised they're not all pushing up. Like a lot of these guys in the back, they need to be pushing up near point. I get they're harassing and shooting off at the CSA over here, but they do not matter right now. Another thing to note, Union is down on tickets right now. If they retake the point, they will go up to the tickets, up to the percentage of tickets that the CSA is at. They'll regain tickets. If Union's up on tickets, though, at the end of this, nothing changes once they retake the point. So, Union's starting to put a little pressure, Midwest Brigade, on where Davis Brigade's holding. Literally, guys holding on opposite sides of the stone wall here. It's kind of funny to look at. And there goes the dynamite. So, CSA strongly holding it. I mean, just briefly looking on the overview here, Union numbers are a lot less on the vicinity of the point. Again, I don't understand why a lot of Union is just sitting back and kind of get into a shootout when it doesn't frankly matter right now. And I mean, I don't know if it caught through, but you saw CSA artillery getting a nice shot. You wonder where 42nd and 30th is. Looks like they shifted off to the center. Meanwhile, CQB is starting to move out. As 42nd PA and 30th move out, looks like they're going to try to get up and get some flanking shots. Union is starting to overwhelm the CSA on point, though.
Just shoot it.
So,
I did it. Let's make a shot.
as mentioned, Union's going to regain some tickets here. Once CSA once Union retakes the point, they're going to go up to CSA tickets. Now, if I'm CSA and I see that I'm losing the point, and I'm up on tickets, I'm going to charge in. Because, one, if you do end up winning, great, you hold the point. But secondly, if you charge in and lose, you lose a bunch of tickets, which means defenders won't be able to go up as many tickets. So, Union will win this, unless something drastic changes, which looks like CSA is just kind of slowly backing off here. And they are shifting off the center stone wall. Looks like 11 Mississippi is trying to go on the outside here. Union's responding pretty quickly, though, to get shots into the Union, who are holding, at least in the open, which there's a good amount here. So, Union's going to retake the point. They're going to immediately fall back into their initial positions because, again, they're trying to play for time. They also want to hold in those nice spots. Actually, some of the IB is going forward here and engaging in a pretty exposed position. But most of the Union's returning back to their original defensive positions. As a defender would, right? No other reason why you would stay out in an exposed spot, right, guys? So, with that all being said, look at that. I mean, we're technically 4.5 minutes into the match, and both sides are down a whole morale stage. That's huge. Generally, as an attacker, you want to get defender down the battle ready by the 30-minute mark, and we're 10 in-game minutes away from it. So, I mean, this is how you play the CSA as an attacker. If you keep tickets even with a defender, especially on a small map like this, I'm very happy as an attacker. Very, very happy. The only time attackers should really start to get nervous with their tickets is if they are down a third to a half of a morale stage. So, CSA spreading out. CSA first to drop and to engage. Again, though, if you're down a third to a half morale stage as an attacker, you start getting nervous then. Even if you're down by a little bit, you're fine. So, I won't be surprised if CSA caps the point 2 or 3 more times, obviously depending on where the tickets are. If I were CSA, I would keep doing what I just did. Cap the point, get into a huge engagement like that. Nice volley there. Let's see who that is. 42nd PA and 30th, they got a nice little volley there. Mostly 42nd. But if I'm CSA, I keep capping the point. I do it till both sides are about midway through taking losses. At that point, just shoot it out till each side hits breaking. That'll force Union onto the point, and then you charge there. So, for now, though, it looks like CSA might be reforming up a little bit. As they have 2 units now moving out of the main spawn. Both sides hit engage.
Keep cresting. Just back down for reloads.
Oh, here I go.
I will not back down.
I'm gonna watch you get shot on the laugh.
I'm surprised that IB is holding up really far. I mean, maybe they're just trying to get more consistent shots on the CSA, but I mean, if you just look from where CSA is now moving to, I mean, you see the whole body. Maybe that's why they shift off, but I mean, regardless of where you kind of go, it's kind of hard to tell, but you can see the dead bodies of the guys on top of that hill, and you can see their whole bodies. So, I don't know why IB was holding that far forward. Maybe there was some angle that I'm not understanding, but CSA get a nice little flank, and looks like, at least for now, they're going to get into a shootout. We'll note that Union is keeping the point capped in their favor, which isn't a terrible idea. However, it does push you a little further forward than what you'd want, but again, if you can keep the point capped, that'll work well for you. So, CSA actually still looking to be down on tickets here. which maybe a shootout will work for the Union side. The ballistics update has definitely changed some maps. I know the update that the scopes update and the ballistics increase update, which that accuracy increase was a minimum of 60% across all guns. But first day that update came out, I'm pretty sure I saw this map, or a day or two after the fact, I don't remember. But CSA completely dominated, whether it be charging or shooting out, which we do know that the day one drop of the update, the guns were 100% accurate. There was no bullet spread, which might have affected a thing or two. But as of now, Union is shooting down the CSA pretty well. This is what you normally see on this map when it gets to a shootout. Union has a lot superior of positions compared to the CSA, and they can just outshoot the CSA even with that 17% ticket imbalance.
IB, fall back in the
So,
deploy. Get on that line.
Again, it's not the worst thing in the world for CSA, but obviously if you're starting to lose a shootout now, you probably don't want to do that for a long period of time because that gap will keep growing.
And they pulled back into that death plate to hide.
Wait for you, gentlemen.
No, dang it.
You can see the scopes. Weapon here. The scope sharps. I wonder, here's a Mythbuster. Can we see through the scope and it actually be zoomed in? Or does it just look like that for the player? Come on, come on, come on. No, it's just... What is that? It's just a grass mount. I need a screenshot of that.
Where's that? That didn't explode.
What the heck?
Padro, pull it back. There's a cannonball right next to you.
I know a lot of the reflections in the game, especially you'll see on like plates and stuff in houses, the reflection on the plate is a different battlefield in the game. It's like you'll go into the Colquitt's defense house and you'll see something on Harper's Ferry or Antietam. It's really weird. So
Behind the bush when she shot.
I might meet my words at the end of the last round for saying that this map is more favorable to CSA. I mean, it has been in the past. I don't remember the last time Union actually won this map. Union's starting to put a little more pressure on point. IB reinforcing NWB. Mostly looks like the CSA did send a group up. However, they quickly backed off the point. But this shootout's not working for the CSA. I mean, based on the fact that the CSA side has the 42s, I mean, if they have 8th Florida, which, yeah, they do. I mean, based on the fact that CSA has the 42s, I don't know why they're getting aggressive with it. Maybe they're not picking the 42s because they wanted more of a shootout. I don't know, but this definitely seems like one of those maps where you want to use those 42s that operate like a shotgun. They shoot a bunch of pellets. Well... But for now, they're getting in the shootout. I mean, oh my goodness. They're headshots, too. My goodness. It's fascinating, too. They're all taking the bayonets off, which bayonets, they don't decrease accuracy. They increase your sway. Which is why you'll see at distances people don't like having the bayonets on. Which, I mean, when the guns are decently accurate now, it's not as much luck-based, so you have to aim... You still have to aim good, but it's like... It was a 60% decrease in bullet spread in the past, right? So if you shoot a guy, if you aim towards the right of somebody, there is an off chance that bullet spread being so large could hit the guy, even though you're not aiming at him. Now you have to actually aim at the person, because if you aim to the right of someone, you're gonna just miss. So you actually have to aim accurately. Still, it's still just as important as ever. But It's not as luck-based, so you can understand why some people don't like having those bayonets on. I will say, though, if I'm Union side, I'm watching for 2 indications from the CSA side. If CSA stops shooting, that means they're probably going to charge. Like, they stop the independent fire. And if you also zoom in and see all the CSA guys start putting bayonets on, especially after not having bayonets on for a while, you can kind of realize, okay, they're going to charge soon. So, I almost wonder, you'll see this a lot of times where an attacker will be doing this independent fire for a while, and then they're going to charge. So they'll all sit and get their loads, which makes sense, right? As an attacker, you would want to have all your loads, so when you go in, you know you can have all your shots, point-blank shots, you know, great shots. However, it can really be a tell to a defender, like, oh, they have stopped shooting. That probably means they're going to change what they're doing soon. That could most likely be a charge. So, I almost wonder if attackers should just, at any random moment in independent fire, just go right in. Because the logic is, too, right? Independent fire is kind of meta. It's been meta for a while. You don't really see volleys anymore. But, I mean, Union is independent firing, too. So if CSA goes in, sure, some of the attackers won't have their loads, but some of the defenders might not have their loads either. So, it definitely can be a surprise aspect. So CSA first to go to taking losses. Tickets are about 1/4 of a stage right now. So, CSA have really, really backed off. And I will note, right, sitting and shooting is perfectly fine on a lot of maps. And I mentioned that sitting and shooting doesn't work on this map, which, I mean, you could see the shootout is kind of not favorable to CSA. But it's really good, again, that CSA played this aggressive to start off the round. They capped the point. They brought everyone down a whole morale stage. And they can afford, you know, sitting and shooting it out. Because they have the time to do it. It's not like they sat and shot for, you know, 10, 20 minutes and then were, like, panic charging. So, I mean, CSA is still in a good spot, even though they're down a little bit. It's not that bad. But... And I do think that this map is one of the more, I don't know. The hard part about balancing this game is, one, the ticket scale based on the server size. So if it's a smaller pop server, you want a game with 100 people to take the same amount of time roughly as a game with 300 people. Now, there's going to be a lot more people dying on the 300-man server compared to the 100-man server. And for that reason, tickets scale in this game. So if it's a smaller pop server, when someone dies, they're going to lose a lot of tickets for their team. I mean, if you hop on a server by yourself and F9 4 or 5 times, you're probably going to lose a whole morale stage. Like, that's just how it is. And then on a larger pop server, when you die, you don't lose as many tickets for your team. But obviously, there's a lot more people dying, so it kind of equals out in the end. So it's hard to balance this game in that aspect. You also have it where people can choose their weapons. Some maps you have people with 42s, or they could choose a 42, or they could choose an Enfield. Like, trying to balance out all the different guns in this game, it can be rough. I mean, there's just so many factors it can be hard to balance. But I feel like this map overall is fairly balanced. Maybe give the Union a little more tickets. But I think this map is one of the better balanced maps, especially since the recent update. Anyways, along Mississippi is shifting off. They moved from the center to kind of this right. They're in kind of a little bit of a defilade here, trying to hide from Union cover. Some Union popped forward, took shots, and ran back. Along Mississippi kind of getting in a crossfire with their friendlies, but it looks like they're just trying to extend this flank and get some nice shots on the Union, which if I'm Union here, I might as well just fall back to that stone wall potentially. Because 11 Mississippi has you in a great spot. Still kind of hard to outshoot people. You even got more CSA now rolling up. HL, they're going to run up and get some great shots.
Never mind.
Never mind. I ripped the officer. Doing a little dance pose there. So CSA trying to get this to be a little bit closer of a shootout, which I don't entirely remember if these are... I don't think that's a 42. I guess I don't know if this is the... This looks like a 42. So, Union at taking losses. Ticket gap's about a third of a morale stage, so Union's still slightly kind of gaining on this morale stage difference. And then 11 Mississippi backs off. Union actually does hold that ground surprisingly well, so props to them on that. I guess CSA was just as exposed as they were. And I mean, wow, it's almost a half morale stage now. It is a half morale stage difference. CSA, I think, needs to try and get some melee going on here because this shootout is not working in their favor at all. Which, you do have 11 Mississippi getting up on the point. They don't have enough men to cap. It's teetering.
How the fuck did I get team killed?
As well. I think you almost walked in front of my bullet. You fucker.
Oh, they're coming. Left side of the road.
CSA completely back off here. However, they are, as you just heard a moment ago, they're rushing up the roadside, trying to cap this point and force a melee again, which, whenever you do an early cap in this game, it's always a great idea to, you know, collapse in the center. And I just saw a message, First Kentucky and IVB switch sides, and it is a 10-man imbalance in favor of CSA, which I thought... Oh! So it looks like First Kentucky guys are going to swap to Union and IVB is going to swap to CSA. I'm surprised they're doing balancing this late into a round. 10-man imbalance is not that bad for a server of this size. So... CSA is capping. Union take it back, though, as more of them start to shift back to the center here. CSA's got to have more guys up here if they want to try to cap it, which... Their whole team is on the point, essentially, and Union's holding it somehow. Or maybe they're not on point. CSA, though, saw that Union win it, and they're going to try to charge them out now. Or just get closer on the point. Who knows? CSA charge kind of backs off a little bit. Some of their guys move off to get shots at Union who have shifted out this way. FSB popping shots that way. CSA almost down to breaking. And you got some more CSA charging forward, trying to get some Union flags, which Union spawn is right here, so it's losing flags for Union is not the worst thing in the world. You want to have them if you're trying to contest the point, though, which they are. So just so you can have guys spawn right on the point.
Proceed. Make sure that you're on the cap. Ready.
40-second move it.
I mean, a pretty good contest here from the Union defense. I mean, they might have lost a lot of tickets in this, but they can afford it. So CSA hits breaking. Already shot, drops Union down a little bit. This would not be, I mean, it would not, honestly, it's not a bad cap at all for CSA. They need to get into some aggressive action, some close range shooting, or really just charging at the Union. And capping the point's going to do that. It's not like Union can regain any tickets from a counterattack. One thing to worry about, though, is that if CSA does cap, which they're about to, they are now considered the defending team. Union, if they want, could push CSA into last stand, and if they push them into that, they can retake the point and win. Holy arty. Great shot. So, but again, CSA can easily avoid that. The moment they start going down through breaking and start getting closer and closer to last stand, they just got to back off the point and have Union retake it. But this cap is overall a pretty good thing as long as CSA kind of doesn't fumble it. Which, for CSA to fumble it, Union has to charge in non-stop and be aggressive. And I don't know if Union really wants to do that. I mean, regardless, they're kind of forced to do it because they have to retake the point. So, if anything, it looks like the ticket gap is getting a little closer in favor of CSA. So, how do you die like that? That's a skill. Also, the pistol on the wall, though.
Hello.
Spread it out, guys.
Oh, we've got back.
So, Union hit breaking. Similarly to the CSA being the defenders, Union is considered the attacking team. So, Union could hit final push if they drop down to their last stage, which is the next stage. But, as mentioned, right, but a lot of charging has to happen at this point for each side to drop to the next stage, and it's really been a shootout. It's more on the Union to force that aggressive attacks, and they are not. So,
Don't peek too long. Don't peek too long.
Get down, get down. Get down.
Officer running up on the left. Watch out, sir.
4 minutes left. Union and CSA are still holding the ground. I don't know if CSA intends to outright hold this. I mean, we'll see. Shoot!
Independent fire. Pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back.
Fire and pull back!
CQB running up to take shots, but I don't know why Union just looks not together in a sense. I mean, they're all sitting back and shooting serve, but they need to group up and hit the CSA if they want to take this point back, and they're really drawing the line here, which you do actually. FSB went in when CQB pulled back. Someone's in the wrong. Which, here comes CQB now. Wish they went together, but you know you'll take what you can get. Does that mean there's charge? No. Why is CQB and FSB charging on this side, and then the rest of the Union team is not charging on the point? I don't understand that. It's just like we're bleeding tickets for the sake of bleeding tickets. Again, I think Union should be charging. If anything, one, to retake the point. Also, trying to get CSA down to last stand. But I don't know why you're not doing it as a team. It's better to do a bad plan as a whole team versus 4 independent great plans. But here comes Union charging.
Let's go. Love a charge. It's a pretty good charge. Never get in there. Hold it, hold it.
I mean, based on what we've seen earlier, Union has been able to retake a point. Point still being held by CSA, though. Union trying to go on the side that the CSA is not really at to get a foothold somewhere and get a little close shootout across the stone wall.
Oh, he's dead.
Which CSA has the majority on it.
Nothing personally, but we hate that group. They're doing nothing.
CSA's really got to watch it. Despite the not-so-aggressive nature of the Union, they are inching their way to last stand. If I were CSA, I would want to get off point. They should not be holding this. Because, again, if Union knocks them in the last stand, they can retake the point and win. And if CSA pulls out and Union retakes the point, both sides are going to be at a very low breaking, which is great for CSA. However, if I'm Union now, I do not cap the point. I push as far as I can to try to get CSA down. And you can hear some Union guys saying to get off the cap, which is exactly. Union has a minute and a half to hit CSA down the last stand, and it's definitely possible. I'm surprised how fast CSA dropped through breaking. But, you know, I guess that's kind of how it is. CSA is falling back. About as trying to go back as far. They need to keep going. They can go back a far way. The inbounds of both teams is inbounds for me. Why can they go back that far? Anyway, CSA can keep pulling back. They need to. I mean, they're sure a little fine in the corn here. You just don't want to risk it per se. I mean, Union needs to be throwing lead. They are capping. You got more CSA starting to fall back. I mean, time is not a worry at this point for either side. A lot of CSA are holding up at the edge. Union its final push. CSA is Artie's getting charged out. Artie's not moving. They're trying to turn the gun at Lucian, who's wrecking. Redcoat, he needs to hit. Hits. This. Can he hit? That's a hit. Some of the Union guys need to be charging into the corn. Uh-oh. And... wow. Wow. So, that's huge for CSA. Real unfortunate for the Union side. Really, well done to CSA. That was clutch. The Union side should have pushed out into the corner a little more. I don't know why they didn't. Like, you saw Lucian, Redcoat, and this. Like, they were pushing out and charging people like that. I don't know why more Union wasn't doing that. Regardless, CSA, they're about to hit both sides down to their next stage. And the clock's going to go down for final push, sure. But that's going to be enough time for CSA to have about 2 good charges. And that should be able to wipe through Union. That's generally how long it takes to get through someone once they hit last stand. 2 good charges. But here we go.
Preferably. There we go.
CSA hit final push. So 2:20 left. Union, they can't die anymore.
Keep going.
Very great music, by the way. It was fitting. I've never played that video game with the song that I was just playing. That's just a banger song. You got some Union. Looks like it's 9th Corps trying to get in the last second flank here. As CSA is slowly taking the point. But Union's holding for the moment. Not a lot of guys left, but they do hold that charge. But yeah, overall, it looks like the shootouts are still favoring Union on this map, which Union has the better position, so it makes sense. Meanwhile, CSA charging, capping the point, forcing Union into engagement generally favors CSA really well. And CSA really took it to an extreme. So they, in the end, are going to get a win here. A good one at that. Union, very, very close to pulling off a CSA last stand. They should have had more guys charging up into the corn. Think that was a mistake from them. But, yeah. It was a very good match overall. Saw a lot of different things. So, with that all being said, good 2 matches today. CSA is going to get a 2-0 today. A very good one at that. So, got to kill everyone but 3 guys to finish the last stand. And it appears that the CSA victory train does not stop. It doesn't stop with the end of the season. It just keeps on going. Who is still alive for Union? Oh my goodness, there's a couple guys back here. And that'll do it. So.
You killed the last one, Senor Fletcher.
So, yeah. With that all being said, again, 2 good rounds. Yeah, not much more to say than that. So, with that all being said, again, man, I like saying that a lot. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you want to support the channel more, please go beneath the video and hit the join button. By doing so, you can get a live stream of all the broadcasts we do. You can advertise your regiment in the bottom of our videos and get an additional broadcast per week. Besides that, though, we have our Discord, merch, Instagram, TikTok, and our Clips channel below in the description as well. I appreciate you all. I could not do this without all of you, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night. We will see you all in the next one.